Okay. So I want to say for a lot of you, this spread pertains to work, a work situation, or a work environment where perhaps you feel a little trapped. Maybe you feel overworked, overwhelmed. Maybe there's a lot of pressure put on you because you don't feel that things have been equally dispersed as far as job responsibilities or projects. It looks as though a lot of the responsibility has been placed on your shoulders. I feel that it's because upper management is in a rush, or there's some feeling of haste that something needs to be completed and done by a certain time frame, and you have the reputation of getting things done and working very hard. And so because of that, they've kind of put more responsibility on your shoulders than maybe what you feel you can muster at this time. So there's this sense of having a great sacrifice here. And I feel that it's disturbing your mental and emotional health and well-being. And it's causing some great anxiety for you. I feel that by the end of the month, you certainly will receive some recognition and some reward for the hard work and dedication that you put into this project or this work. But throughout the month, it's really, really busy. You're really overwhelmed and you feel a bit spent, okay? So there's a message here to really kind of pace yourself, make yourself a priority this month. I almost feel like it's almost like you don't know which direction to go in sometimes because you're so overwhelmed or there's so much to do. Maybe you're working a lot of overtime and you're lacking sleep. You really, really need to listen to your higher self. I know that sounds a little bit bizarre out of nowhere with this spread because this is very much like a materialistic spread. But the Hierophant is here in the Two of Wands, and you can see this is you having decisions to make, having to disperse your energy in multiple directions, and he's looking back at this Hierophant who represents like a higher self. And the Hierophant is someone who's very wise, very spiritual, and he shares that spirituality and that knowledge that he has. So you see here, he has his hand raised, and it's like he's trying to reach out to you and say, hey, I have something for you. I have a message for you. Listen to me when you feel this way. So I think one thing that I would say with that is you need to spend some time in meditation, spend some time in prayer, take some time to breathe. And I know that sounds silly, but honestly, practice some deep breathing meditations to help relax yourself this month. The Page of Pentacles is the overall energy is telling me that this is something to do with money, something to do with finance, and something to do with work-related projects, something very much in the material realm. So it's again, your energy is being dispersed, but you have the ability to kind of bring it together by the end of the month, and you're going to be receiving some recognition and reward for all the hard work that you've devoted to this month. Okay? I'm going to look at this more in depth with these clarifying cards, and I'd like to look at the Two of Wands first. For some of you, I'm getting another message that for some of you, you may be having financial difficulties this month, but it's not the forefront priority for you because there's something going on an emotional level that's taking precedence over financial problems or work-related problems. But just know that by the end of the month, everything is going to pan out favorably. So whatever anxiety you feel yourself getting this month, just know that, take that breather, take that time out, maybe devote, even 10, 15 minutes before bedtime or before you start your day in the morning, and just breathe and relax and focus on what makes you happy. Because this energy is it's a passing phase. Okay, so let's look at this Two of Wands here. So, with the Two of Wands, you're soldiering on in this commitment. Now, this commitment can be work-related. This is the Wife card, but it can be a commitment, a work-related commitment. For some of you, if it is relationship-based, you have a decision to make regarding a reunion with a partner that maybe you were once married to or once in a long-standing committed relationship with, and you're deciding whether or not you should just continue on your own path or reunite with this person. But I'm really getting, with these cards that it's more work-related. This may be for some of you the emotional element that is coming into play that takes precedence over finances, okay? Let's look at, I want to look at the Queen of Cups. Emotionally, again, you feel very spent because you're very faithful, loyal, dedicated to a partner, or you're really loyal and dedicated to your job and your commitment. There is a consolation coming in. There is reprieve coming in, like I said, by the end of the month. And there's a transitional piece here with this Death card. So what this is telling me on the Queen of Cups is emotionally, I feel like, again, your emotions are kind of spent, but understand that you're going through a transitional period. It's temporary. There is going to be some reprieve by the end of the month. And you are going to be recognized for your faithfulness and loyalty and your dedication. So that's what I have for the general reading. Let's go ahead and move into the love portion of your reading. We have the Seven of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, the Emperor, Five of Cups, the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Wands, the Eight of Swords, the World, and the Ace of Cups. And at the bottom of the deck, Ten of Swords. So certainly, I have to say, this spread's just crying out to me an ending of a relationship, okay? It's the end. It's done. There's been a lot of fighting back and forth. There's a lot of, I want to say, territorial aggression. This is mine, no, this is mine, and you should own up to this, and you should own up to that, and I'm not taking responsibility for this or that. Somebody, walks away, and I think for you, you feel mentally trapped. You feel unsure how to save this relationship or save this commitment. It is causing you a lot of anxiety, a lot of restlessness, a lot of sleepless nights. This can be what we were seeing in the last spread too, where I said, emotionally, you feel spent, and that's taking precedence over work. It can also be that, it's hard when you're going through such emotional turmoil to focus on work, so maybe work just feels very overwhelming to you, okay? But getting back to this spread, this is a completion. And the cards here are saying, look, we go from the Nine of Swords, which is mental anguish, frustration, sleepless, restless nights, anxiety, fear, all the things that we're afraid of, coming at us. But then you turn it into the Nine of Wands, which Swords is all mental energy, it's all thoughts, it's all your analytical mind. And then we have it turning into Wands, which is passion, creativity, energy. It's fast-moving energy. So here you are by middle to end of the month, you're standing your ground, and you're holding the fort down. Okay, you're not allowing this emotional turmoil to upset you more than it already has. And being that this Nine of Wands is underneath the Emperor, we have to remember that the Emperor, he's the highest court card, pretty much. I mean, he's a major arcana card, but he's over the kings and queens, even the Empress. That's his wife. But he rules the kingdom. So it's reminding you of your power. You have the power to control yourself, to control how you react, and how much of your emotion you are going to allow to impact other areas of your life. Okay? By the end of the month, look, the World card is here. This is Major Arcana card. Major Arcanas are all about external energy or the universe working to manifest for us. So it's not something that we can control per se. It's not something that we can change. It's saying ultimately that this relationship has met its end, that it's at completion now. But this is also a card of reward. It's a card of victory. So you will be standing strong by the end of the month. And we see a new beginning in your emotional well-being by the end of the month. The Ace of Cups is like a number one, right? It's starting all over. We go from the Ten of Swords, which is feeling stabbed in the back, betrayed, basically left. We see this man here on the ground. He just has nothing left to give. And it's coming from that and turning it into this. Your liberation and freedom and emotional. I'm getting a feeling of like a big weight lifted off your shoulders, pretty much. We go from night to day. So you'll be seeing things differently by the end of the month, and happy for the relationship ending, honestly. Now for singles, I want to say that you may be holding on to some emotional ties or connections from the past that are affecting your ability to find a sound, to find a sound relationship in the present. So what I mean by that is maybe some of you are holding on to past hurt and past pain, which kind of closes you off from allowing someone new to come in. For some of you, what it means is maybe you went through a very troubling relationship in the past, and now you have this misconstrued idea of what a man or a woman is, or what to expect from a man or a woman in a relationship. It's like you have a negative outlook and perception of the opposite sex. And so, although you want that level of commitment and you want that level of monogamy in a relationship, you're not ready to be that open and vulnerable in order to experience that and express it in a relationship. So that's something you need to work on. It's a lot of mental thoughts. Like you still may be upset by the way things ended in a past relationship as well. But this month is all about you completing that cycle and finally letting go of all those things that are holding you back from finding true love. Let me look at this Ten of Swords with the clarifying cards here. Yeah, someone's faithfulness or loyalty has been brought into question. It's bringing you sorrow. You're getting some communication that you've been stabbed in the back by someone. Okay, if you're in a relationship. Those of you who are single, this is you finally acknowledging that your pessimism or your negativity is causing you a lack of an ability to find a faithful, loving, committed relationship. Okay? I want to look at the Emperor. Yeah. The message here, you may have a friend that comes in and helps you when you feel down. Let's spread these cards out a little bit more. They're going to be communicating to you. You may also get this message, whatever this communication is about, a betrayal from a friend. I also want to say this is telling me for singles, for those of you who are single and those of you who are in a relationship, you have to be your own best friend. Don't be pessimistic. Don't be emotionally unwell. Okay? And it's going to take you having some open communication or dialogue, perhaps with someone who has hurt you in the past, and finally letting it go and saying, I'm done. I'm not going to feel this way anymore. I'm not going to carry this hurt, this pain. I'm getting a message for some of you, like you still talk to an ex, or you still have some relationship with an ex, and you're kind of hoping they'll come back and be fully committed to you. They're not going to. You're going to realize that this month. That communication's coming in this month. And it's about you being your own best friend, being the emperor, being in control, taking your power back, and finally just finalizing that relationship for good.